Hey, welcome to the Dropship Podcast. And today we are going to tell you all about why right now is the best time ever to start a dropshipping business. And you might be saying, wait a minute, Ben, inflation is through the roof. There's banks failing. The macro environment is absolutely wild. Why is right now the best time to start a business? And hopefully this podcast tells you why. I agree with you. First off, I agree with you. Inflation is bananas. The money printer went burr for a long time. Turns out they turned it back on again last week as banks bought long-term equities. They can't service the debt. If we all did a bank run right now, we'd all be fucked. Macro is crazy. Russia's still going through their war with Ukraine, which is actually a proxy war with the world police, as John calls us. Who knows what's going on with China? They want to take over Taiwan. We've cut off chip access to China. It's all wild. Everything's crazy right now, and it feels wilder than it's ever been somehow, even though like the last what feels like 10 years have been insanely wild. Really, like since the big orange man showed up, it's been kind of crazy. And then COVID, and yeah, it's been wild. So I can imagine you're listening right now saying, how could now be the best time to start a business? But I hope by the end of this, we can show you it is, in fact, the best time to start a business.
Yeah, I think it's really easy in these times when everybody is yelling gloom and doom and it's all about to fall apart, and you've got the media, which is worse than it's ever been in terms of hyperbole as well, going 24/7, cracking on about it all and whatnot. It's really easy to pull your head in at this point and try and hide and be like, oh, it's all too scary, it's all too bad. And, I'm just going to pull my head in. I'm going to retreat to my safe place, my safe and warm place, wherever that is, which for most people is probably on the couch watching Netflix or something like that. But, when the reality is, I think, if you look at the history of time, turbulent times are not really that unusual. Like you go back, obviously 50, 60 years, these sort of things were not that unusual. I think we've just been fortunate to go through, for people yours and my age, or, even a bit younger, a little bit older, gone through a period of relatively comfortable living, right? Like there hasn't been a lot of, changes, a lot of unexpected things or that sort of happening in the world, or even locally, if you live in a what might be termed as a Western country. And so I think people have just got used to that. But, this isn't really that unusual, I don't think, in the history of man and woman, people.
Look, some people, I know some people who could convince you otherwise that this might be the fourth turning, right? There's a book called The Fourth Turning that talks about, strong men create good times create weak men create bad times, and the cycle continues, right? And so, like, we are in that 80-year cycle that the fourth turning is calling for, that there needs to be something big, right? 80 years ago was World War II, 80 years before that, 80 years before that. Just go do a little history. It does look like we're going through that, but it is a cycle. Everything goes in circles. And like you said, John, I've actually never been through it, right? I started in business after 2008, 2009. I started in the end of 2014, right? And so I've only enjoyed this 0% interest, amazing time. It's been amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It's been fantastic. Starting a business, was never easier. Like you could make money doing a lot of different things, and you kind of look like a genius. And I think a lot of people are, being caught with their pants down. The tide has come out, and there's a lot of people not wearing swim trunks anymore. And so, that might sound like it's a bad time to go in, but honestly, like building right now is the best time to be building, because everything comes back. The good times are going to come back. 0% interest rates are going to come back at some point. And if you spend the time building right now, investing in yourself right now, the good times are going to be real, real good. Hey, obviously you're interested in high ticket dropshipping, wondering what you're going to sell. That's usually what people think about long before they ever purchase a course or even get started. John and I want to help you with that. We're running a 5-day challenge. Check it out at dropshipbreakthru.com/5. 5 days. You'll figure out exactly what you're going to sell, and you'll be ready to start your high ticket dropshipping journey when you're done. Or you could sit here, like John said, on your couch, watching Netflix, feeling safe in your job that, you feel safe. I'm glad I have a job right now. Thank goodness. And then 2 years from now, things come back and you'll be like, man, I wish I would have started something 2 years ago, because I'd be in a completely different place right now. And so, like, I would rather focus on what I can control, right? I can't control inflation. I can't control whether there's going to be some runs on some community banks. I can't control the macro environment. I can't control any of that stuff. What I can control is the actions I take. And I want to encourage everyone listening to this to take those actions, take steps today to build the business that you want to be running 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, to be in the situation you want to be 2, 5, 10 years from now. You have to take those actions today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't control what happens. Like whatever happens, it's going to happen, right? On that big stage that you're not on, but that's going to affect you. There's nothing you can do about that. So it doesn't make any sense to treat this time any different to any other time, right? You don't have control over the good times either when they're there, right? So the best thing you can do at any time, regardless of whether it's good times, bad times, is to invest in yourself. It's not to just sit there and keep doing the same thing. Like if you're sitting there and you're not comfortable with where you are in life, you want to change something. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's probably the case that you'd like to have more time freedom. You'd like to start creating some wealth. You'd like to do a bit of both, whatever it might be. Don't put that off because times aren't as good as they might have been for a little while, or maybe they're going to be a bit down for a little while. Like there is no reason to put that off. You should get started because, just like there's no guarantees in business. When times are down, there's no guarantees in a job either, right? So the only way you can really hedge your bets in an uncertain time, I think, is to be able to do more, is to make yourself more valuable, is to build other sources of income, expand your horizons, learn new skills. If you're interested in e-commerce and dropshipping, that's where you're focused. That's where you should be expanding that knowledge and those skills and learning valuable new things that you can, if you need to, if nothing else, turn into other opportunities for you to put food on the table.
I would just encourage you to build. I don't care. I do care. I want you to come build an e-commerce business because I love e-commerce, but I don't care what you do. Just get started. The only way you're going to get to a different place in life is by taking different actions. And there's literally no better time to do that than right now, so that when things go back to, air quote, normal, you're in a better place. So we'd love for you to take action, even if that's as simple as looking down below on YouTube here and hitting that like button. We'd appreciate that. Or subscribing to us on whatever you're listening to on YouTube, on your podcast player. But more importantly, take action in your life. Whether that's coming in our course, you want to book a call with us, all the links are below. You want to find your niche, the links below. Everything is available to you to get started, or go back to episode 1 and start from the beginning and just start building. Like, take action today so that you're in a better place a year, 2 years, 5 years from now.